Victor, I heard you tell the seminal story of what kicked this film off, and it was a long time ago in your childhood. Can you tell us that story?
Don't you think it's very weird that we are playing with toys when we are kids, right? We have these toys, and normally our parents gave us toys of like animals and dolphin and elephant and cow and we read fairy tales about animals, and we always associate it with something very warm, very kind of emotional, and very important for our childhood. And then in the same very time, we have pets at home, and we love them because they understand us, and they understand our emotion, and they support our emotion. When we are depressed, they help us. When we are happy, they support our happiness, right? That's why we love them. And all of us live with this feeling that there are friends in our families. And in the same very time, we don't give a chance to other animals, and we don't even consider them as not as intelligent only, not as emotional creatures, but even we consider them like not each of them for us. It's something, not someone, but something. We just eat it, and I don't know where is the missing link. Have been child, we love animals, have been grow up, we love our pets, and how we do not make this connection to that other animals could be also intelligent, emotional, and have the rights to be here and has rights to be happy. So my childhood, my first remember about my childhood was my first friend was a piglet. He was 1 month old piglet, and I was 4 years old, and he was really like best friend of my childhood. And we spent best time and together enjoying life, making mess and running, and so it was just beautiful to be together and spend time together. And then, of course, in certain moment of Christmas time, he became a dinner. He became a dinner for my relatives, and which became biggest disaster for my life. Like they killed my best friend, and so since then I became vegetarian, and I could not even look back. I cannot. Since then, I never was even trying to look back, because for me it's so obviously and just simple like that. I hope the Gunda will watch by kids. I don't believe my generation of people able to change their life, but I hope kids will watch the film.
And Ainara, what was the personal connection for you? What were the intentions behind your involvement in this work?
I mean, me as well, you're living. So since childhood, I live in a village. So since childhood, I was very connected with nature. I also remember one of my memories from childhood is one of the kids of my village killed the mom of a little rat. And I saw all the little babies alone, so I took them home and I feed them. And I keep them behind my bed. But at night, they became tiny big, and they went out from the cage, and they were spread in my house, in my room. Wow. So I remember that my mom opened the door, and I said, "Listen, I have 5 little rats, or it was Moses, in the room, and I don't find them." And my mom panicked. So and she pushed me to take them and put them outside, so they probably they die. So since then, I have this very strong feeling that we consider some animals our enemies and dirty and bad, and we just kill them. So when Victor he has this very necessity to make a film about animals, we start to make a research. Actually, the trip, the journey that we made from the beginning to the end, it was very interesting, because we tend to patronize animals. We tend to compare their intelligence with humans' intelligence, which, in my perspective, is the most stupid thing that we can do.
We'll come back to that. Thank you, Ainara. And Anita, Victor mentioned that the film took a very long time. Can you talk about when you became on board and why you think it took so long to make?
Yeah, I mean, I know Victor since 2013. We started to work together, and that was on a different film at that time. But straight when we finished, we started to discuss a new project. And I think it was kind of like a natural way. The first film we did was a film for children. And I think, you know, in that experience, you know, giving the voice to characters that you don't really see so often, or they normally are, you know, maybe not main characters, they're just kind of in the back. I mean, like maybe a lot of films with children or animals is kind of, they are not the main focus, they're there in the background. So I think what we did with Victor's first film we did together was actually to give them that stage and that place that they could talk themselves without any grown-ups saying what is right or wrong. So I kind of felt, you know, when Victor came with this, it was a great new step to also give that kind of voice and give that place to these animals that we kind of very rare are actually listening to, you know, that we see them and we hear people talk about it, or they are portrayed in so many different ways, you know, in animation, in fiction, they have voices, they have, you know, they're there, but they're not there of being themselves in a way. They are portraying something else or someone else. So with that in mind, you know, to give that space to say that now we're making a film about these are the main characters, and no one is going to tell them what they feel or to tell us what we think they should feel. We should just watch them, you know, and give them that stage that they haven't been given before. I think it was a huge challenge, and I must also say I was a little bit worried.
It's such a relief to not listen to human voices for quite a substantial amount of time, and you create a very powerful space for non-human voices. And can you just talk about that intention within cinema, because one realizes when you see it that actually it's very rare. So can you talk a little bit about how important it is to center non-human voices, all of you?
First of all, we need to, I have a clear understanding that if in the beginning of the film, I will speak in the film, or anyone will put voiceover, in the beginning of the film, the viewer will decide what he's watching. And if I speak in the beginning of the film, the certain part of your brain will be indicated. So I would say, I will speak stupidly, as neurons who are responsible for understanding, they'll indicate all intelligence of your brain to understand new information. But if I don't speak anything, if I don't say anything, another part of your brain will be activated, which will try to feel what you see, to understand it emotionally. It's totally different part of your brain. And I believe cinema is very close to the nature, because animals in the nature, they need 1 second to understand. If they meet, like two animals meet in savannah first time, they need one look to understand who is in front of them. Is it enemy? Is it friend? Is it food? Or I will become food. Same with us. We don't know, but we need only 4 seconds to understand who is in front of us. Even we never met this person. We need 4 seconds to understand, is this person could be my friend or never? And we need only 17 seconds to understand, is this person could be my lover or never? So we are a very big computer with our eyes. Mm-hmm. Our eyes is huge and we don't use it. And I don't understand why a documentary filmmaker is supposed to put voiceover. That's why, for me, it was important, we don't use voice. And for me, it was important, we don't even use any human in the film, and we don't even use music. Illuminate completely emotions from human emotions.
Yeah, when we were editing the film, we tried to put sometimes some music, and then we felt that the accent was in his view, not in the animals. So actually the film was saying, no, remove, and we were removing it. And then because we were very aware that they were much bigger than what we can say or think. And that's why the process of editing the film, it was just, okay, remove this, take out. So it was just like, just remove, make it simple to make it strong.
And Anita, what were the big challenges for making this film? Were a lot of the creative choices you're talking about, were they the things that made the film challenging because money people didn't believe that would work?
Yeah, I think it was so different, so people cannot imagine, so when we were presenting it, it was like, okay, so there will not be anyone saying something, it will be in black and white, it was very difficult. I mean, we started in the kind of same way as we normally do, we did a trailer and we started to introduce in all these international pitching forums. And, there was a great interest from a lot of people, but it was always kind of like, yeah, but what about colors? What about music? They always wanted something else in a way. So I think at a certain point, we just, I just say to Victor, okay, we may not have like a huge budget, but we want to be free to make the film we want to make, and that we have to trust that is the right way. And when people will see it, they will love it. So I think that was, after, chasing a lot of it, I just found, the people that trusted it. And we found also Jocelyn Barnes, our co-producer in the US, who came in a very crucial point and then we were like a small, stable team with good people that could help and move the film forward. And I could say to Victor, we have the freedom that we can do the film that you want to do.
And can you talk about the casting process? Can you talk about how you found Gunda? And is also Gunda playing herself?
Oh, this is secret. This is secret. Gunda actually came to us herself. She actually chose us, not we. She actually came to us and she was looking so friendly and obviously communicating to us.
Yeah, maybe it's important to say that we were searching in sanctuaries because then the people who run the sanctuaries let them be in the way they are. So many of the cows, they were traumatized, and you actually can see the personality of which one was traumatized, which one did not have mom. So they were treated there very, very in a special way. So they felt all safe. So they allow us, they were not afraid of us. So they allow us to film. If you go to a normal farm,
chicken will run away.
Chicken will run away, the cow, the pig. But we were to places where animals felt safe. And actually you can see their own personalities and you can feel their background, because what happened to them. And actually in the sanctuaries, each animal have a unique story,
yeah.
and they behave according to that story.
I think it's a little bit the same as with humans, you know, that you can feel the humans that had a story in their life, you know, had challenges, you know, that's what we're looking for in documentaries, you know, people who had challenges in their life that they are overcoming. And I think that's the same we saw with these animals too, you know, the animals with the story, they were different in a way and they connected in a different way.
And what do you think your cast understood that you were doing? What was that collaboration like as you were making the film?
People probably don't know, but we made kind of special house for her, which looks similar to her normal house, which would normally she will give birth. But we made it in a way that lens will be inside the house, but camera and people outside. And lens can move 360 degrees there without touching, without disturbing them. So the only lens of the camera was inside. All of us were outside. And that's helped us to not to destroy the environment, not to destroy their life in any way. So they smell us around and they saw us, but we did not change their life. You gave me a good idea to speak about one story. Just before the birth, actually, if you miss the birth, you miss the film, right? We need the birth, right? And if you miss the birth moment, then you have to choose another character, another mom. So, and the owner of the farm didn't know exactly when it's going to happen. Even with piglets, it's much better than with human, but it could be mistake 3-4 days anyhow. So, and owner of the farm said to us, no, today is not going to happen. Tonight is not going to happen. You can calmly go to the hotel. Maybe we have 2-3 more days before it will. But Ainara, she read so many books about piglets. And she knew that few hours before the birth, the pulse, the amount of heartbeats of the mom will change. And her breathing will change. The amount of breath so, and we already were in the car. And Ainara said, hey, let me check again. She came to Gunda. And then I saw her running. Victor, we should sleep here around Gunda. We have to sleep here just because it's her breath changed. She's gonna give birth. So this has only happened. Because we really study a lot, and especially Ainara, she studied so many books and read books before, and she knew exactly more than owner of the farm when it will happen. That's why we didn't miss the birth. That's why we were sitting all night around, and 5 o'clock in the morning, bam, it started, and we were ready to do it.
Yeah, because the birth is very fast. She gives one baby every 10 minutes.
Yeah. So, and it was just, if you miss it, you miss it. If you're in hotel and someone call you, oh.
In fact, it was so we were sleeping in the car, and the sound person came to make sound, and he came and say, the birth started, and the way so it was just 10 minutes from the car to the barn, and when we arrived, it was already 2 more piglets there.
Oh. So it was really fast, and yeah, every person in my team is so important and so beautiful, and sound is just amazing.
We were like a big family, and we spent a lot of time with Gunda, with the piglets. So we make sure that they knew us. We named them by name.
Every piglet, yeah. So even Gunda had her name before we came.
Do you have any final messages for the audience?
Now it's like a collective experience. We all go to see Gunda when the countries are opening up again. And I think that's a beautiful experience. And I think really Gunda is a film we need right now, because it's been a really tough year for a lot of people. And I think just to sit down, to take it in without, you know, you don't need to think so much. You can just be there, you know, be in the moment and feel what you want to feel.